Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar with Anchor Software. And today's webinar will be on AnchorConnect. My name is Cindy Prado, and I'm Senior Support Specialist in the Plano, Texas office. And today we're going to talk about Anchor's exciting new platform, AnchorConnect. As most of you already know, Anchor Software provides best-in-class solutions to help keep your data in the best and cleanest condition while maximizing your postal discounts and creating intricate and highly personalized documents for you. With AnchorConnect, you can seamlessly share all of Anchor solutions across your enterprise regardless of size or your number of locations. So you may be asking yourself, well, what exactly is AnchorConnect? Well, let me tell you. AnchorConnect is Anchor Software's newest enterprise platform. It allows organizations to seamlessly access all and share all of Anchor's solutions and services, whether on-premise, off-premise, in the cloud, or a hybrid approach combining multiple environments. And you may be asking, well, what kind of products or services can I share or access with AnchorConnect? Well, let me show you. These are just a few of the products that we offer that can be shared. As I said, all of Anchor's solutions and services can be shared or accessed with AnchorConnect. There is MaxCast OS, our USPS CAS certified solution, Max Mover, our NCOA link certified interface, Max Presort OS, Anchor's USPS Paved Gold certified presort solution, Max Dupe OS, which is our duplicate identification tool, DSF Squared. This is mainly used to provide walk sequence information, but it can provide other seasonal indicators. Max COA, Anchor's proprietary change of address database. Deceased suppression, which is a database listing of deceased individuals that you may want to use so that you don't mail to a deceased individual. AEP apartment append, address enhanced and apartment append, and others that we don't have listed here because there's just not room, but they can all be used with AnchorConnect. So in today's presentation, what I'm going to be talking to you about is the benefits of using our cloud environment, but don't forget, AnchorConnect can be installed locally, within your environment, and behind your firewall. So let's get started on some of those benefits. Some of the benefits are, one, you only pay for what you need. This is number of users, modules, or even by record volumes. It's a very secure environment. We employ military-grade encryption. There's no bandwidth limitations. The more you have, the faster it goes. Now, here's a really big one for you. The system is highly scalable. It supports you for both short and long-term growth. It can free up, I went too fast. It can free up your IT resources for both human and machine because you no longer have to maintain the software or the database updates. And tying back to the last one that I just discussed about the not having to maintain or update the software is because we're going to be using the most up-to-date databases and most up-to-date software to manage the process for you. That way you're maintaining the highest level of data accuracy and currency when it comes to your mailing processes. Again, with Anchor maintaining the databases, the software, and even the physical machine. That'll free up your IT resources to take on other important projects for your company. And you may be asking, well, what about the speeds? The speeds for this platform are incredibly fast. Processing speeds are consistently in the tens of millions of records per hour. And remember, the higher bandwidth you have, the faster and more efficient processing you can experience. And another huge benefit is if you're a limited service provider, you're currently paying $20,000 per year just on that limited service provider license. And wouldn't it be nice to throw that back into your company? And you may also be asking, well, can this be automated? Yes, the entire platform can be set it and forget it technology. You can automate your processes from beginning to end. Now, what I'm going to do is tell you about the components of our AnchorConnect. First, the user will download a light GUI interface onto their local machine. Next, military-grade encryption is employed, like we talked about before, over a secure network to process the job files and return the results. This is not FTP. It utilizes HTTPS transfer process. Your information then gets landed on a secure server at Anchor to process the job. It can be a dedicated server depending on your requirements, or servers depending on. And here's a great thing. We provide product monitor for you that'll allow you to monitor the entire process of your job. And then the military grade encryption that we talked about starts grabbing the files that have been processed and returning them back to your local machine through that secure environment. Now, what I'm going to do is, now that I've told you about the components of AnchorConnect, what I'm going to show you is our AnchorConnect interface. Here's our AnchorConnect interface. If you are a MaxCast OS user, you're used to seeing our GUI. And on the left-hand side, you'll see the GUI part right here. On the right-hand side is the AnchorConnect Job Manager. For those of you that have not used our MaxCast OS GUI, I'm going to go through a quick run-through of what the GUI consists of, and then I'll show you the AnchorConnect Job Manager, as well as showing you a job actually employing or deploying and seeing it running, so that you can see the entire process. So the GUI itself consists of 3 sections: the file input, output, the setup, and the report. The file input output has 4 panels. First is the input panel. This is where you tell it where your input file is and where you would like other information to be landed if different than your output. Then next is the output panel. Pretty self-explanatory. This is where you want the output information to be put once it's landed back on your local machine. The split panel. The split panel is where you can actually split off part of your output information into a separate file. You just give it criteria here. The options panel, as you can see, you have several options you can choose from. Next is the meat of our CAS, which is the setup section. The setup section has several panels. The first one is the standardized casing panel. The standardized casing panel is exactly that. You have standardized casing, standardized options and casing options. The CAS options. These are the options that you would choose if you were only running CAS or you were running NCOA. NCOA, which is National Change of Address. If you choose to run that, you simply turn the option on as we have highlighted here, and then make your selections that are required by the National Change of Address RIBs to process your NCOA. AnchorConnect. This is for NCOA processing between the months of 19 and 48 months. As you can see, you have a couple of options if you choose that option here. Geocoding. This returns back any latitude and longitude information as well as other geocoding information if you choose this option. AEP. This is our Address Enhanced Processing. It's a proprietary database that returns an uplift on additional primary or secondary information. DSF squared. As we were going over the products, this is mainly used for walk sequence return information, but it can return other flags such as vacant or seasonal flags. And the report section, self-explanatory. Based on your selections on the previous panels that we talked about in the CAS section, this will return report information back to you. So that is the CAS GUI. So now we'll go over the AnchorConnect Job Manager. So if you'll notice, the AnchorConnect Job Manager has several panels listed here, and I'll go through them so you would simply know exactly what you're looking through each particular panel if you have our AnchorConnect. First is Open Jobs. Open Jobs, once you open up a job on the left-hand side in the CAS GUI or you set one up, it now gets populated in the Open Jobs panel. Here, you can run the job immediately, or you can schedule the job to run after a particular job, or you can run the job at a particular date and time, and you have all those options on here. Next is the Running Jobs panel. Running Jobs panel is exactly what it states. Once you execute the job or it's time to go ahead and run the job based on your queued selections, it now gets populated in the Running Jobs panel. Queued Jobs panel, what we talked about before, if you've queued it up a job to run after a particular job, or you've queued the job to run at a particular date and time, it will get populated in the Queued Jobs panel, so you can see, okay, well, oh, what jobs do I have scheduled to run later on. The Completed Jobs panel, this is exactly what it stated. Any jobs that have gone through the process completely will be populated in the Completed Jobs panel. And Server Jobs. This shows it's a compilation, if I'm saying that word right, of all of the previous panels before. It will show Open Jobs, Running Jobs, Queued Jobs, and Completed Jobs. So you can see all of the jobs that are in each of the panels on the All Servers job. And you can also execute a job to run after it's been completed, again, from this panel. And lastly, batch jobs. If you recall, one of the things that I mentioned is that it can be set it and forget it technology. So if you choose to run a job lights out or from batch, we require certain parameters, and here we've provided a panel for you to choose those parameters, and it will create a batch file for you that can be added to your other processes or just by itself. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to exactly execute a job. So I've opened the job from our Max CAS GUI on the left-hand side, and I want to execute it. It's easy to do. What you do is see this little arrow with a cloud around it, and when we've highlighted it for you, you can either choose that, or here on the bottom, there's another execute that's highlighted. Either one will work, and that will then, if you queue the job to run at a later time, it then places it in the queue, or you're running it immediately, it will then choose it to run immediately. So, as I promised you, I'm going to show you an actual job that's run through the AnchorConnect. Here you go. So the job from your local GUI on your local machine, it's compressed the information. It comes over back to the server through the military grade encryption. It lands on the server. It extracts the information onto the server, and then it starts processing. You can see here in the bottom, there are statistics that you can see how many records have processed, how many have coded in each category that you've chosen. And if you don't want to look down there, you can also see a percentage right here. So there's a green percentage complete that you can see as it's actual processing. And if you want to see the stats rather than looking on the bottom, we've provided a nifty little graph for you so you can see how many records within each category that you've chosen are actually getting hits back on that particular one. Once it's completed, you'll see job completed in the messages queue right here. It'll compress all the information on the server and land it back on your local machine. You'll see the percentage complete. You see the the percentage complete on the right-hand side, and it gives you where it is. It's extracting the information back onto your local machine. Once it's completely extracted, it will get rid of the compressed file so you don't have a bunch of, extra files on there. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's AnchorConnect. How much better can that get? And here's something even better. We provide for you the product monitor, and that can be viewed from any device. It can be viewed from your computer. It can be viewed from your cell phone or your tablet while you're at your daughter's soccer game, while you're in the break room eating. You can view your entire process while it's going on without having to be stuck at your desk. That's so great. So you may be asking, well, what is exactly this product monitor? Well, I'll tell you. Here's the product monitor. It's a web service that we provided for you, and you'll be able to see your entire process of all of your jobs, whether run, queued, or completed. So right here, we've done a little quick show for you. There is Max CAS OS job overview, Max Dupe OS job overview, Max Presort OS, and if you'll notice, there are numbers populated within each one of those products. The Max CAS OS Live, or actually the first one is Live Jobs. It's all the way across the same thing. You can see how many jobs are actually live running that you've either executed or you've queued up to run, or even your scheduler has kicked it off to run. You also can see how many jobs are queued up to run at a different date and time or after a particular job. You can see how many jobs are archived, in other words, completed. While the job is actually running, you can see the progress of the job or jobs. And let's say that you say, well, I want to see just one process. I don't want to see all of those programs. I want to see a particular one. We have that for you too. If you click on the products tab, which is, right here we have highlighted for you, you can see the particular stats of just one job. In this example, you can see live jobs for CAS, queued jobs for CAS, or archive jobs for CAS. What I'm going to show you is all the information that's at your fingertips for your company or your manager, or even to manage your clients. So for this example, the queued jobs that we've queued up to run at a particular date and time. Once you queued up jobs, look at all this information that is at your fingertips. You can see the job ID, you can see the job product that was queued up, you can see the control book, and you can see the status of the particular job. And guess what? Even more information. You have the scheduled time that it's scheduled to run. So let's say you queued it up and you're like, I don't want to do. How many jobs do I have scheduled for today? Here you go. You can look right here. All that information is at your fingertips, and you can even see what server, if you have multiple servers, what server that it was scheduled to run on. If you scheduled the job to run after a particular job, you can also see that information here. All that information is at your fingertips. And since we've provided that information for you, as I stated, it's a great managerial tool. You can export that information in Excel format, CSV format, and PDF format, so that you can manipulate those reports based on the information that's here, maybe provide graphs, maybe provide something to your whole entire team for a particular client. And that's just the queue jobs. So here's the archive jobs, the jobs that are completed. Even more information is at your fingertips because the job completed all the way. So you can see the product name, it happened to be CAS because we're just doing one, who ran the job, what machine it was run on, the date, the time that it was run on, the start time, which it kind of got cut off, but it gives you the start time that it was run on, what version of CAS was used when it was actually run, and when the job completed, how long it took to run. Can you imagine what you can do with all that information at your fingertips? And this happened to be an NCOA job, so you can see the list name of the company that she ran the list for through NCOA, how many total records went through, how many NCOA matched, and how many went through the +4 and added them on there. So much information at your fingertips. And as I stated before, that information can be exported in Excel, CSV, and PDF format for you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So let's execute a job. And it should start up in a second now. And there it goes. So you'll notice here on the bottom is the progress of a pre-sort job that's running. It gives, see how the color changes depending on where it is within the process? And you can see it, again, from any device. So let's say that you kicked off a job and you scheduled it to run at a particular time. Oh, I'm gonna go to lunch, but I'll look from my phone and see where it is. There you go. There's all your information at your fingertips. And if you'll see on the right-hand side, even when there's a problem, you can see that too. So the one on the red, on the right-hand side, it happened to have a problem, so it's red. So that would tell me, hey, there was a problem with that job, so I need to go look at it and see what happened. So all that information, again, is at your fingertips, and there you go. Product monitor in its own. Our support team, if you are a current customer, already know we have a great support team. It's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We want to be there to help you through your entire process, and whatever needs you have, we're there for you. And if you have any questions, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, we can go ahead and take those questions, but let me go ahead and tell you, please visit our website for additional information about AnchorConnect at www.anchorcomputersoftware.com, or call our support team after the webinar. We also, as in all our webinars, do provide this information for you. If you've signed up, we'll provide a link to where you can download this information to review it later. And so let's go ahead and see if there's any questions that anybody has. Oh, it looks like there is a question. Somebody did pose a question. This is the first one. It's a really good one. Let's see. What type of encryption is used for sending and receiving data? Well, what we were saying in the webinar is we use military grade encryption. It's 256-bit. It's HTTPS transfer process. So you can be very, very secure that your data going across and coming back is very, very secure. So let's see, is there another question? Oh, here's a really good one. I'm a current customer and I use Pilot Pro to automate my workflow and job submissions. Will I be able to use Pilot Pro with AnchorConnect? Oh yes, most of all, yes, definitely. There'll be a command line that can be called by Pilot Pro, and so that you can call basically any of your programs within the Pilot Pro or Anchor programs rather. Let's see. Let's give it a couple and see if there's any more questions. Oh, looks like there's one more. It says, let's see, will I be able to produce managerial type reports out of Product Monitor, i.e. Records processed today, this week, this month, this year, with a date range and productivity status? Yes, actually you can. So there's a couple of ways. As I stated in the webinar, you can export the information via Excel, CSV, or PDF. If you do it in Excel and CSV, as most of you know, you can manipulate that information however you choose. But here's another great tool. There's a search feature within the Product Monitor. So let's say that you do 2019, just 2019 for the year. It'll bring you all your processes that have ran for 2019, and you can export that information so you just have the 2019. Or let's say that you want to do just a month's worth. So let's say you do May. So you put in 2019 /05, and it would show you just the May information. So it's a great, great tool. We provide all that information for you, as I stated. You can manage what jobs are processed, how long it takes to process those jobs, and even who is the one that's working the most within your environment processing those jobs. Okay, so let's see. We'll give it a little bit longer to see if there's any more questions. It's a pretty easy process. I hope so much of you are interested in this AnchorConnect, because I'm very excited that you don't have to have the engine loaded locally. It can be on the AnchorConnect side, going across the internet. So let's see. Well, that looks like that. Hey, I must have done a good job. No more questions. So that's all for the questions today. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today for our AnchorConnect. If you have any questions, like I said, visit our website or call support team. That's where we're here for you. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to join us in our webinar today.